So again, we take the conversation over to the weapons, which again is the low-hanging fruit that every fan at home sees and says, Harry's a bum, Edelman's hurt, we got to go get Julio, whatever it is. And that's going to happen every time there's a game like this. Now, I know all the analysis has shown that Newton, bears responsibility for a lot of what went wrong in that game, but that doesn't absolve the weapons, quote unquote, that the Patriots have from also not being special and not being in need of upgrade. Both things can be true here.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, people want to downplay that portion of it, but like, talent makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like,
why is
you
the
can
need
win
to
the
defend
game.
it? That's my question.
Yep.
Is why is everyone rush so quickly to, well, it's not this, it's that, and Harry's good at blocking. That's great, but that's not what people are talking about. I mean, whatever. Well, look at him downfield blocking in the run game. Great, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who can make plays. And right now, as you said, the talent makes it easier. So I don't get it. It's not, they're not doing anything to help, as you said, to help matters.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're an offensive coordinator, and I was just trying to find, okay, yeah, by the way, if people want to look and see how good N'Keal Harry is at blocking, go watch 1st and 10, Denver 40, 5:04 the first quarter. Rex Burkhead has a 1 yard gain. And N'Keal Harry, his job is to block the safety, and the snap happens and he's still on the line of scrimmage and he's late to get the block. That play could have been a humongous play. There were a couple plays like that. So anyways, I digress. I mean, Yes, he certainly gives effort and he's big and he does do some good blocking, but he also messes up a lot. And there are a lot of mental errors in his game from his route running to his blocking. But yes, it can be both things. And with the Patriots, it is currently both things. And they are, look, John, let's have an honest conversation here about where the Patriots are, okay? Julian Edelman is now an aging, injured slot receiver. I mean, he's still serviceable. He can still get open when whether he's going to catch the ball or not, I don't know. It's not as dependable as it used to be. That's usually an indication that a receiver's leg's going. Once his legs go, then his hands go. N'Keal Harry. And these are from conversations that I've had from people, NFL scouts, people around the team also, who have watched all these guys. N'Keal Harry, in a perfect scenario, is more like Mohamed Sanu in Atlanta, where he's a number 3 receiver.
Right.
Really, a big slot. Because right now he's playing boundary for the Patriots, and that's not helping anything. That's not his game. I think they would be best served by getting some sort of boundary receiver. Julio Jones would be tremendous, and kicking N'Keal Harry inside, giving him some of Edelman's snaps. Damiere Byrd is really a number 4 receiver, and Ryan Izzo is a number 3 tight end. So that's where they are, right. And it is a factor. And like you said, the Broncos are no idiots. Vic Fangio, no matter what you think of him as a head coach, he is a damn good defensive coordinator. And with extra time to prepare for the Patriots, what did he see? He saw a running game that needed to be attacked. If they could limit the running game and make Cam Newton throw from the pocket and pressure Cam Newton, because they knew nobody was going to bust them for a big play in man coverage. So they did all those things knowing they didn't have any fear of the Patriots. If they stopped the running game, they knew the combination of Cam Newton, his accuracy, and also the lack of athletic ability among the Patriots receivers, they weren't going to hurt themselves. So they just came after him.
Right. And so that's the thing is, if you look at the two things, and again, in this particular game, you can look at Newton and say, okay, I'm going to put a larger slice of the blame pie on him for this game. But looking ahead, which of these two things is more likely to fix itself? Newton having a better game, or the receivers all of a sudden being able to do things that they clearly don't look like they're physically capable of doing? I'm going to put my money on Newton to turn it around, which means which means the weapons problem is going to be there. Even if we are so fast to absolve them of responsibility or total blame in this game, I don't see that getting better without bringing in outside help.
I completely agree with you, John. I mean, I think it's an excellent point. And, I do think they are currently deficient at receiver and tight end. I mean, I don't know how many people can really argue against that. I did a big column this weekend about N'Keal Harry on where he is, and you can certainly make excuses. And you can make excuses about this Patriots team and this week with practice, because I do think that's legitimate. And we can get into that a little bit for why I think it's different than the Titans situation. Right. But the thing that talent gives you is it gives you a chance for a 60, 80-yard touchdown. Derrick Henry, a 94-yard carry that goes for a touchdown, where it's just easy, and you just put up 7 points
even
real quick.
The Cardinals game last night, Christian Kirk, 80 yards. Kenyon Drake, again, garbage time. Hopkins, 70-yard gain. I mean, those plays are there, and you see people popping off everywhere. What's the biggest gain here? You had Sony gets back-to-back 40-yard runs one game and gets caught by 7 guys from behind. But you're right, there's no explosive playmakers here.
I mean, just look at this game. Did you know? So the Patriots' explosive plays were a 38-yard run by Newton on a scramble,
right, and
a 22-yard pass, Julian Edelman to James White. That was their whole sum of plays over 20 yards. I mean, that's that Josh McDaniels on the final drive of the game is calling for Julian Edelman to throw twice. Just tells you, we've had this conversation in the past, and I get criticized for it because I'm the bad guy. But when the Patriots are using when an offensive coordinator uses a bunch of deceptive plays, that means he's telling you he cannot beat the opponent straight up.
Right.
And I will give the Broncos credit for their plan. They used the time. They knew how to attack the Patriots. They knew that Cam Newton, after he had 2-3 weeks in the Patriots offense, then it regressed. He had lost some of the checks and audibles at the line. Whatever the Patriots called, they were locked into at the line. The Broncos knew what was going on. They're fast in the secondary. They have Bradley Chubb up front. Like they were a lot more dangerous than we thought. And the Patriots were, considering their predicament as far as practice, they were the perfect sitting prey. And that's exactly the way it worked out.